Cool. All right. I'm ready.
Sweet. Just gonna make sure everything looks good. Cool. All right. Well, are you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Come on, man. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 254. My name is Harrison. I am joined by my brother Nick, as always. Nick, how you doing, buddy, on this glorious Switch Monday?
Switch Monday. Happy birthday, Nintendo Switch. Wait to get
Happy
there.
birthday to you. And also Zelda, Breath of the Wild as well.
Yes. Almost more importantly.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Zelda.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. We'll just give our. I mean, we at this point we've talked about the Switch to death, and rightfully so. It's been on the market for going into its 9th year, which is
Jesus.
I did not expect that at all. I mean, Nintendo was, back then Nintendo was kind of in a very, very weird, questionable place. They were doing. I mean, obviously the Wii U is an abysmal failure. They were doing the mini consoles to just try to get some sort of revenue.
Doing mobile games.
Yeah, mobile games were starting to come out. I mean, it was a very weird. The games were good. All the games on the Wii U were all fantastic games that I wish maybe I played back then. But
yeah,
but we've all got them on the Switch now, so we're not really missing out.
There's really nothing missing except for two elusive games.
Nah, they don't exist, brother.
Nah, you missed out if you didn't get a Wii U. That's the message.
Yep. Of course, we're talking about Zelda, obviously, but
yeah,
that's what it is.
Of course.
Yeah. But
and Star Fox.
But what? What game?
What? Nothing. Never mind. Forget it.
Yeah, that game. But yeah, we'll talk about Switch turning 8. All the kind of enjoyment we have with it and stuff like that. Got some news to talk about. But we're going to talk about that Pokemon Presents that happened on Thursday. It was it was a Pokemon Presents.
It was.
If you go in, just you can't ever be disappointed if you have no expectations. So.
Right.
But yeah, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Nick, before we dive into what we've been playing, how's your week been?
It's good. Alicia and I hosted like a murder mystery party thing this weekend where I can't remember. I can't remember if you guys got this for us a couple years ago. Or if it was the like the solve your own murder, or
is it like the death below deck murder or something?
Pistols and Passion.
No. I think we got you the like the Death of the Dive Bar game. I think that's the one we got you. Yeah. But it's like yeah.
We actually did that one a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
I tried to tell you. Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. Did y'all finish it?
Yeah. We solved it. Nice. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's fun. It's a fun game. So it's pretty like involved. Like there's so much stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of like case files and
that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. But with this one, we sent out like the roles in advance, and everyone like has their own specific role. It's like a Italian dinner theme, so we made like pasta bolognese for dinner, and
so you were like
We were, like, going in on the
Cosplaying, like,
theme.
the full on.
Pretty much, like, people were, like, acting out parts and stuff, and
That's awesome.
there's, like, a loose script that you stick to, and you know, unveil certain, like, specific information at specific times, so it kind of, like, gives away your secrets and that kinda stuff, so
Yeah.
it was really cool, but y so part of it is, like, there were a couple of audio clips that you play to kind of, like, set the tone,
Is
and
it kind of like in like it maybe similar to, how the audio thing works for the werewolf game?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
similar. There were 4, like 4 separate audio things that you played,
Cool.
like, kind of each round, like, once you got through, like, each round of questioning or whatever, and I accidentally played the last one first, and it
Okay.
started with, "So now you know that the killer is blank, blank, blank."
Oh,
Or
no.
so, like, everything was revealed right at the beginning. I felt so
No!
terrible, but I
Oh,
was
so you can go in and, like, have the person's name, like, in there and stuff?
well, it's just, like, one person is the killer, like, with this game, like, you're solving a specific murder, and one of the characters, like one of the characters that you assign to someone is the killer, and no one
Okay.
knows who it is except for
Gotcha.
them when they get their character sheet. So like
Okay.
there's one killer and it doesn't change.
Oh, okay.
All preset. Like it's all like a whole it's like a preset game pretty much.
Everything is it, like, digital? Like, you create it and then it goes out, like,
No,
uh
no, it's all physical. Like you have like a
oh,
panel
okay.
to look at, and there's like evidence and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like the thing that you gave us, except it's you play it
So
with.
can you play that same one again with
No,
oh,
not
okay.
really. It's kind of a one and done situation,
No, that's bad.
unless you, like, play with a different group of people and you don't participate in it and you just host it, but, yeah,
Yeah, where's the
it's
fun in
got
that?
kind of one and done, but,
Gotcha.
yeah, so I accidentally revealed the killer at the
That's
very
sick.
beginning, and I felt super bad. I was like, "Well, we could just eat dinner," and everyone's like, "No, like, let's still play, let's still go through it," and it ended up being a ton of fun because it took the pressure off of, like, the killer like trying to hide their identity, and
Yeah,
took the pressure off of like trying to find the killer, so everyone just kind of leaned into their roles, and
that's cool.
yeah,
It worked out.
yeah, it worked out, ended up being really fun, but I felt terrible. I was like, man, I'd initially played the first audio thing, and then uh like people hadn't like settled down yet, so I restarted it,
Yeah,
and I guess I'd accidentally clicked the fourth one,
got
which
lost in the sauce.
just got lost in the sauce, but that's okay.
That's alright.
Yeah.
That's alright.
Yeah, but it's fun. How's your weekend? How's your week?
It was good. Pokemon card collecting update.
Oh boy.
We're starting to get cards back in stock and at various retailers, so
Nice.
that has been, um, nice because Kellen I don't know. It really does suck because, like, I mean, like, literally 2 months ago, there was cards out the ass, like, you there was no issues, and it shouldn't be that way, man, but, like and just going through all this, I'm not ready for the Switch 2. Like, I'm just not ready to go through the hassle because, like, during last week, during Pokemon Week, Best Buy had, like they were doing drops, like, each day they would do, like, one of the popular sets, and I tried every single day, and I would get in line, or I wouldn't even be able to get in line. It would just sell out instantly. And then a couple times I got in line, and then I waited, and then it had me log in to verify my account,
Mhm.
and then it was like, "Oh, sold out." I'm like, "What are we
Dang.
doing?" So yeah, not looking forward to the Switch 2 at all because I'm gonna be way more passionate, I guess, to say to in trying to get that. And if I can't, if I miss out on like a certain day, I'm gonna be a little bit upset because we want to be the first. We want to be
Wanna be day one.
in the mix or whatever. We don't want to miss the zeitgeist,
God, it's gonna be
um,
so hard.
but yeah, that was a little frustrating. But I think what was it Friday? Friday we went out and we were looking at like Target and Walmart. And they had like nothing. And then I was like, you know what? I know there's a card shop. It was kind of near our house, but it's a little bit out of the way. I was like, let's just go and let's just see. And they ended up having like a couple of booster pack, like a the 6 pack you could get for one of the sets. So I
Nice.
got that, and there's a couple of like relatively cheap like $10 cards because they have like individual cards too that you could buy. So we were looking at a couple of like the golden cards for some of the newer sets, and one was like $7, one was like $10. I was like, all right, let's get the 2 cards because we're just who knows like
We're
when
here.
we're gonna get anything. And then we got the cards, and we opened them in the truck, whatever, and we got a couple of like really cool hits.
Nice.
And then we went out. Well, I went out Saturday because I had to get the car inspected. And I tried a couple spots and I couldn't find anything. And then I got back to the house and I'm sitting here watching TikTok, and they said something about Sam's Club having cards. I'm like, Kellen, let's go. Went to Sam's Club, they had nothing. I asked the guy, and he said, yeah, we've been out for like 2 weeks. We just can't keep them in. I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Sure.
I know that story. And then I was like, all right. I was like, I know for a fact the GameStop that we normally go to has nothing right now. Let's just try the one up the street. So we went there. They had 3 packs left. So I was like, I told the guy, the cashier, I was like, I feel bad for grabbing all 3, but we've literally tried like everywhere and we can't find it. He's like, oh no, you guys are good. He's like, we got like 30 or 40 in this morning and they all got taken up. He's like, we had to start limiting people 5 per pack. I'm like, thank God.
Oh my God, dude.
So he's like, no, y'all are good. And I was like, all right, cool. And then we were in the same parking lot as the Five Below. So I was like, we were already going to go to Five Below anyways. So I was like, let's just go to Five Below. Kellen picked out like some candy and some other stuff. And then we were cashing out. And I happened to look behind the counter. There was like 6 packs of cards.
Dang, at Five Below. Wow.
At Five Below, yeah. So I was like, I grabbed them. And I grabbed 3. And I was like, all right, we're going to grab 3 since we got, some at GameStop, so we can let somebody else get that, just in case.
Very nice.
Yeah, we had a good haul this weekend. And then last night I went out to grab some dinner for us, and I stopped at Dollar General to grab like some Diet Mountain Dews for me.
Mm-hmm.
They had a bunch of cards, so I got 2 more packs.
Oh my God. You guys are addicted.
Yeah, and then I told Kellen, I was like, all right, we got to chill out for a little bit.
So these are the new ones, right?
Not really. Like the ones that we want, like the newest set, Prismatic Evolution, that's like the kind of the Eevee Evolution set.
Yeah,
can't find those anywhere. They're only online. They're only the scalpers got them. So what we've been finding is kind of like the 2 or 3 sets previously that they're still making whatever. But yeah, the prismatic ones, the ones that we really want to open, we still can't find those. But hey, we're scratching the itch somewhere. And I'm like full. I'm kind of like almost like full on like I'm getting that daily itch. I'm like, oh, I need to
go out and get my packs.
Need to go get my packs. This the Pokemon Pocket isn't doing it for me anymore.
Oh no. Oh no, it's not hitting the same. Now that you've touched the physical.
Well, I've definitely slowed down on Pokemon Pocket. Kellen's really Kellen's really the only one that's been kind of doing the daily stuff, which is fine. He still likes it, but I feel like the last 2 sets, even the newest one that came out on Friday, the pull rates aren't as good. So it's just a little annoying. I don't know.
I didn't experience that with the last set, but I have not pulled any packs from the new one, so I can't comment. But
yeah,
that is a good reminder. I need to go in and rip some packs.
Hey, you tweeted that one day. It's like one day you won't do your daily and you'll never go back.
It's sad to think about in the moment, but then when you pass the moment, it's like, wow, I guess it's over. That's okay.
Yeah, I guess it's over. I mean, I guess, I don't know. It's like a gambling addiction. I don't know.
One day it'll just pass.
Yeah, one day, or maybe not for some people. So yeah, I've been and it's just fun because like whenever you do pull like a really awesome like full art card, we have a ton now. Like I've got the like the little penny sleeves you put them in. I've got like the top loader, like the hard cases. So I don't know. I bought like 600, so I'm gonna have one in the truck at all times for the little mini sleeves. So if we're ripping in the truck, just go ahead and sleeve those bad boys up. We're ready to go, man.
You sound like an addict.
Maybe a little bit.
I always keep my little stash in the truck, just in case.
Just a little stash. And I think it's just because they're so hard to get.
It makes you want them more.
It makes you want them more, and like when you find them in the wild, it feels really good. So I think that's just scratching an itch I didn't know I had. So
Yeah.
and it's fun because he's super super into it. So,
Yeah, I'm sure that helps. I'm sure that
but yeah,
is,
I was
is the
like,
main driver.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we were just sitting there, and I was watching something on TikTok. I was like, Kellen, we got to go out. We got to go Pokemon hunting. He's like, let's go. But other than that, had a great weekend. Still kind of cool outside, so we hadn't really been hanging outside too much. It got nice, and then it started getting cold again. So
Yeah,
well, that's always frustrating. I'm definitely ready for the warm weather, but
the warm weather.
But what I cooked this week? I cooked on the grill. I made steaks on Friday, and then we did. I think we ordered like wings on Saturday. So I'm starting to get back into cooking stuff on the grill. So
Nice.
that's definitely exciting. So yeah, great weekend. Great weekend.
Yeah. Should we dive into what we've been playing?
Yeah, let's talk about Avowed. Where are you in Avowed? Because I have not played a ton of video games this week, but I've managed to put like maybe 4 or 5 hours into Avowed.
Are you still in the second area?
Yeah, still in the second area. I think I've done everything just about that I can do. I've done all the side quests that I can see. And I've got now the permission to go to the next area. I actually like this area a lot. I mean, you when you were talking about it, I was kind of prepared to like not like it, but I actually ended up enjoying this area quite a bit. It's definitely more dark and gloomy than the first area. But I really enjoyed the kind of landscape, and I don't know how this played out for you, but so I guess some minor spoilers for very early into the kind of the midsection of the second part of the game, second area, but I immediately kind of just started going all over the place. This game is so fun just to explore. Like I've never completed side quests more with actually doing the side quest first without actually getting it, which is super super awesome. But there was this one part where there's this big old waterfall, and I was like, yeah, there's something behind there. And there was like a group of like the Steel Garou people, and they were acting real sketchy. And then I was like, you know what? We're fighting. And then I killed them all. And I was like, okay, well, maybe that's the end of that. Maybe they were just kind of like a
well, did you find out what they were there for? Because
yes. So I mean, I guess
the conversation you can find out.
I don't know. I think I just like they were getting real snippety with me, so I think I just
started
attacked.
Blasting.
Yeah. Anyways, I just started blasting. But after like you progress the story a little bit more in that second area, they attack the main city. And when you get there, everyone's like, well, why did they attack us with no reinforcements or no men or something? And then your character's like, well, I did killed like 30 people back in this waterfall. And they're like, oh, awesome. So I was like, I don't know what would happen if I didn't find them. I guess maybe more people could have potentially died. I'm not 100% sure how that would have played out.
Sure.
But that was really cool that happened.
Yeah. I did the same thing. I wish I don't wish I would have gone another way, but I wish I could know what happened if they did launch their full scale invasion, because there were a lot of guys in that area under the waterfall, but I was talking to them, and I think I just talked to them long enough where they revealed their plans, and I was like, well, I don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
So I started blasting.
Anyways. but yeah, there's like so many times where like I've found somebody and they're like, hey, I need you to kill this enemy or pick up this item. And he's like, this item right here. And you just give it to him, and then it's like over.
It's like, that dude's been dead for 2 hours.
Yeah, he's been dead for like 2 days. Like, come on. But yeah, this game, man, it's, I don't know, like just seeing the couple of TikToks you did, whatever, people are always going to hate on games and like the combat and like whatever. And I think it's just because people, A, they just haven't played the game. And B, it's an Xbox exclusive game right now. So it's automatically going to get hate. But
yeah,
I don't know, anybody that's like right now, like I understand that probably like the Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, Skyrim, the lore is probably a lot more deeper. Although I mean, Pillars of the Eternity is a pretty well established franchise, but as far as the individual games go, they're obviously like I think Elder Scrolls is just more of a massive game, but just the combat is so much better.
It's so incredible. I love this
so
combat.
much better than Skyrim and Oblivion. It just feels great. Like it's so fast. Yeah, and just I mean, and like Oblivion and Skyrim, same kind of thing. Like the exploring was the best part about the game, and I love that. And this one feels it's definitely that same vibe, but it's like more condensed. Like it's literally every step you take, there's
It's like, oh,
something to find.
there's a waterfall. There's a cliff I can climb. There's a chest over there. I mean, there's a million chests.
Yeah,
which is great.
so many.
Like, yeah,
and then just like we talked about before, but the environmental like storytelling that they do, like if you see a dead bear or something, and you see a trail of blood, and you find a body by the river, it's like, oh well, the bear dragged him over there, and then the bear got killed by something else or whatever. It's like little stuff like that. I just love in games, and Obsidian they just did an excellent job. This game is it's incredible.
It's so incredible that I finished it.
I figured you had, because you were like pretty deep into it last week. So
yeah, I think I had gotten to the end of the third area last week, so I completed the final area, and I did like all the totem stuff, got all that done, got all the side quests done that I could see, like did all of the bounties in all the areas. So like I was like I explored, like I was doing, you know, most of what the areas had to offer, if not all of it. And this game did not let up. I love each area in its own way. I know I said that the second area was my least favorite. I meant visually. I liked like the storyline in the second area and the side quests, but I mean each area stands out on its own. And I think, you know, for what they were going for, like not going the whole open world route, going with more of a condensed experience, a streamlined experience, open zone. I think that really worked for this game. And this is one of my favorite Western RPGs in a long time.
Yeah.
Like I think
I would prefer if more games did this anyways.
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily need everything to like completely connect together. I don't need the whole big old map. I mean, it's good when it's there, but you know, it is nice to have kind of a more condensed, but still pretty big map to explore, or maps to explore.
Yeah. And I finished this and tried to go back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And I still want to keep playing that game because I do really like it, but there is a lot of like dead space in that game. Like it's super big, but it feels like you're just like walking around a lot. And like that was kind of weird coming back to it after playing Avowed. So I think I prefer that experience with Avowed or with something like Indiana Jones, where it had those open areas that you could explore. But just an incredible game. I mean,
I was thinking about flipping back and forth between Kingdom Come and Avowed, but like once I started playing Avowed, like it just really kind of sucked me in. I'm definitely going to go back to Kingdom Come because I absolutely love that, but it is a very different game. I mean, like, there's not like,
it's like a medieval RPG versus
it's not condensed necessarily with like just stuff to completely find, but it makes sense for like a sim kind of game. Like you have to kind of prepare for the day versus Avowed, you can just run out and do whatever. But so very different games, but Avowed is really good. Like by the end, it's got to be somewhere in my top 10 somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I have 3 qualms with the game. First one is near the end of the game, and specifically from like the third area onward, some of the cutscenes were pretty laggy. Like, and it was weird. It was only for like one character. It would, you know, the scene would switch between different character viewpoints, and when it got to this one specific character, the frame rate knocked down to like 10 frames per second.
Interesting.
And then when it switched back to another character, it was back up to 60 or 30 or whatever. I mean, that's not a huge deal, but just kind of one of those like weird things that kind of takes you out of the experience for a second. My second issue is the skill tree, and maybe this was just me going ranger, and I should have gone fighter or wizard, but like the skill, I just wish that the tree would have had more like augmentations to your like battle system, or I guess to your attacks.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you get like a kick or you get like a double jump or something like that. And it was a lot of the skill tree unlocks were just, oh, you get plus 20% attack with a dagger, you get,
Yeah.
plus 50% charged attack. Um, so that was one area I think they could improve on in the next game. Either, improving the skill tree or leaning more in the Skyrim direction of, okay, you level up a skill by doing it, or you level up your
Yeah.
yeah,
That
your
makes sense.
yeah. Um, and then my third issue, and this is something that I think might have been a personal thing, but towards the end of the game, instead of selling my inferior weapons and armor, I was breaking it down to get materials so that I could upgrade my preferred weapons, so I
Right.
could get those up to
That's what I'm doing
legendary.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually what I do.
Um, and by the end of the game, by the time I got to like the final area, I was kind of out of money, and which wouldn't have been a problem, but when you get to the legendary phase of the upgrade path, you start having to pay money to
Oh,
upgrade,
gotcha.
which like doesn't make sense because who are you paying?
Because you're still using like the
You're still using materials, but then you're
front. Well,
also
you're still using the upgrade like point in the what is it, camp, the base camp.
yeah, you're still using
But then
the
you're paying money. That is a
yeah.
little weird.
So I was like, oh shit, like I should have been selling more stuff because your weapons sell for a lot. Like once you get
Yeah.
up to like the superior level, like those sell for like 5,000 each, and I had a ton, but I
Yeah.
was breaking them down instead of selling them. And that's just something I didn't really.
Maybe I need
Yeah.
to. Maybe I should think about that then, because
Yeah.
I pick up everything in this game. Like I'm just like
Yeah.
like it's just
Pick
like
up,
yeah.
select, break down, keep going.
And I love like please let every game be like this going forward. Like being able to break your stuff down for materials and just sending your stuff to the
Yes.
box. Please, Starfield. I'm looking at you, Starfield, Skyrim, like any Elder Scrolls game going forward. Just do it. Like please, for the love of
Just
God.
don't.
Like I
Yeah.
don't want to
About
be over
so
encumbered anymore. I hate that mechanic. They have it in this game, but it's so easy to get around because you can just break it down or just send it off to your box. It's just makes so
it's
much
great.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
it's a
the
very streamlined like
super
experience.
streamlined from
It
like the
feels
lock
good.
picking to just
Yes.
not having a crime and wanted system.
Yeah.
It does everything it sets out to do so well.
Yeah.
And, I know I just mentioned all the things I didn't like about the game, but this is like a 9 out of 10 plus for me.
Yeah.
Like, I really loved Avowed. I started a new playthrough.
Dang.
I'm
Okay.
going the Ooga Boonga, big sword, big hammer
I love it.
route this time. I don't know if I'll, like I probably won't finish another playthrough of it just
Yeah.
because, other games are gonna come out, but but I really loved Avowed.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anything
Cool.
you've been playing aside from Avowed?
Other than that, I've been just still kind of playing the Portal. I've been kind of testing out the Wi-Fi spots in the house. So, the last few nights I've been playing up in bed, which I have. So, my Wi-Fi is good, but my router is in my basement, and we have plaster walls, so it's like it's not great for Wi-Fi across the whole house.
Mhm.
So we've kind of always had issues upstairs, even like on our phone. Sometimes it'll dip pretty heavily. So I ended up a couple months ago. I got a Wi-Fi extender that's in our room, and I've connected to it before. It works just fine. But I had a feeling that I was on the edge of getting the Portal for a couple months, and then I was like, let me just go ahead and get this Wi-Fi. It was like $20. So last week I took it upstairs for the first time. Was laying in bed, couldn't connect to the PS5. I was like, all right, we're kind of in trouble here. I was like, it's like I can't play up in bed. Like, do I need this thing?
Yeah.
And then I switched my settings. All right, let me connect to the Wi-Fi extender, see what happens. It worked perfectly.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been playing Metaphor. Gonna be going through that because I want to try to 100% that game. But yeah, it works very good. Plays great. I haven't tried. That was just doing the remote play with PS5. I haven't tried any sort of the cloud stuff yet upstairs. So I do want to try that out and see how that works. But a couple of dips here and there with Metaphor, but 2 seconds, maybe 1 second, and that was it. So
Nice.
it works pretty good.
Question: Does I know Dragon Age: The Veilguard is coming out on PS Plus.
Yeah.
Is that able to be streamed to the portal?
Yeah, remote play. Yeah, should be able to work. Yeah, you should be able to play any game. So any game.
I mean, I guess yeah, I know downloaded it can, right? But
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be on the cloud. That I'm not sure of. But yeah, remote play. I mean, it shouldn't be an issue.
Any game you have downloaded should be able to be played.
Yeah,
remotely. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that thing is so sleek, man. It just feels good to hold. Feels good to play. The screen's great, and it's kind of like a test of how the Switch 2 is going to be, because I mean, we don't know the specs yet, but I mean, 8-inch screen is kind of what we're expecting. And like that screen is just big enough to be. It's like the perfect, a little bit bigger than the Switch OLED, like an inch bigger, but not too big. It's not heavy at all, which I understand the Switch 2 is going to be heavier than this.
Than the Portal, you think?
Probably, I would imagine, or maybe around the same. Because there's so much like unused real estate, I guess, in the overall design of it. With the handles and stuff. I assume the Switch 2 is going to be a little bit heavier, but yeah, feels great to hold. Looks great. You know, I know we don't know about the Switch 2 yet with the screen, but if it's not OLED, if it looks as good as the Portal screen does, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm confident the Switch 2 will have a good screen.
Yeah, like 1080p screen, that's fine. I'm definitely cool with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, been playing with that. Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
Anything else you've been playing?
I've been continuing with Ender Magnolia on the Switch.
Okay. Yeah.
The Metroidvania. Still really enjoying that. But cool. Yeah, I started playing it again. Finished up Avowed. Through that one. I mean, that's a great series. If anyone wants a Metroidvania series to play, Ender Lilies and Ender Magnolia.
Yeah. I think I'm just to the point where I'm just kind of almost, I don't want to say done with the Switch, but
you're done with the Switch.
It feels like I'm done with the Switch.
After Xenoblade Chronicles X.
I cannot wait for that game, dude. That game looks incredible. Awesome. I think it's funny how like all the comparisons with Pokemon ZA and like they're like, how does a new game in 2025 look like severely worse than Chronicles?
This huge Pokemon. Open world game that has the same mechanics essentially. Like I don't know. I mean, yeah.
We'll talk about it here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I've got my opinions about it, but I mean, whatever. But yeah, Xenoblade, I cannot wait. All the previews look incredible. Everyone hyping it up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is going to be an absolute day one for me. That's why I want to get through Avowed, or I'm going to get through Avowed first, obviously. Kingdom Come, I don't know if I'm going to get through that one. I know that's a pretty long game. That's probably going to be a game that I play for a few months. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Xenoblade. Good stuff.
I think this one's gonna do really well. I just have a weird feeling that
I think it's gonna be the best one in the series.
Best selling,
yeah. Because like, what's Xenoblade 3? Is that 3-4 million?
It's 2. Xenoblade 2 was the best selling at like 2.6.
I think this one's gonna be more than that.
There's a certain aura around this one. I don't know what it is. You see the Game Awards Twitter actually gave some love to Xenoblade.
Well, because they missed it in the initial tweet. Like I'm like, Jeff, come on, bro.
It's like it feels targeted at this point.
Well, I didn't initially see it, and then I saw you had tweeted OJ or whatever, and then I was like, oh, what's going on? What did somebody do? And then Or I was like, what did Jeff do? Like he had to diss somebody or didn't mention something, and sure enough, I went back and looked. I was like, all right, so where's Xenoblade? Where's
Bro mentioned every other game on the face of the earth except for Xenoblade in that tweet.
yeah, it's like, come on, dude. Like, you know what you're doing, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game looks like it's going to be really special.
Yeah.
And yeah, Xenoblade. I mean, 3 was absolutely incredible. I still want to go back and play 1 and 2, but
I
who
mean, you gotta
knows?
play freaking Future Redeemed.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay.
I got a lot of stuff to play, and it's all like RPGs that are huge.
I feel like this is like the year of the RPG.
And like Obscure like comes out like what next month? I'm gonna pick that up on PS5. Play it on the Portal.
Yeah, that's a good Portal game.
Because it's what, $40, something like that.
40, yeah.
Yeah. So if the review's good, yeah, I'll pick it up. Because that looks really, really good. But all right, let's we'll start. We'll before we dive into the news. Obviously, we talked about it earlier, but Switch turned 8 today. Came out March 3rd. You and I were both there day one. I think I was at the midnight release for it. Were you at a midnight release, or did you pick it up the next day?
I got it the next morning. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the last midnight release I've done. Yeah. So that was fun.
I don't think I've done one since
the Switch is just. It's been such a good system. Like
it's the best. I think it's the best console ever.
I would say that or 360. I think those are like my two favorites. Like the 360.
360 does have the sauce.
Was I don't know, man. Like Xbox was just cooking, and they were just on fire. Literally,
they didn't leave the kitchen for 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, they had the red ring of death. I mean, they were on fire. But even that aside, man, like just all the games Xbox had, like all the year one exclusives they had, BioShock. I mean, I think that whole era was just we had so many new IPs that were incredible and all went on to have like they're all true. I mean, that was kind of the big thing back in the day. It was like trilogies. Everything was a trilogy. Gears of War, Halo.
That's true.
Crackdown. I don't know if I would call that one a trilogy. I mean, it is a trilogy.
That one kind of bled over to the Xbox One.
BioShock, Dead Space. I mean, there were so many existing or so many great franchises that were started on the 360 and the PS3 era. But anyways, back to Nintendo. Yeah, the Switch has just been a great system, and as someone who kind of fell off on I had a 3DS, but I wasn't picking up every single game out there. Like it kind of like reinvigorated my love for handheld gaming because I played. I don't know, man. I've at this point I've probably played a little bit more handheld than I have docked for the Switch.
Oh, I'm like 90-10.
Yeah.
I'm like 90. I'm 98 too at this point.
Yeah, and I didn't think I'd ever be like that, but it's just very convenient just to pick it up and play. It's fun.
I love handheld gaming. I mean, I loved the 3DS, love the DS. There's just something so special about it.
I was kicking myself yesterday because yesterday, I was like, man, I'm gonna play so much Avowed. But I've got really 3 animes that I watch now. I've got, I don't know if you call Invincible an anime. Have you ever seen Invincible on?
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Okay. You should watch that show. That show is incredible. But so Invincible comes out on Thursdays. Saturday is Solo Leveling. And Sundays is Dragon Ball Daima, the new Dragon Ball show. But I usually on Saturdays I don't watch anything because I'm pretty busy. So Sundays I usually just kind of get back and watch everything.
Yeah.
But I watched Solo Leveling and that show, man. Have you seen the new season yet?
No, not yet.
That show is just the ultimate aura farming. It's ridiculous, man. It is so badass. But the episodes are so short that it's that's what the only people that complain about is the episodes are so short.
What are they 20 minutes?
It's like a standard TV show, whatever. But Invincible, that's like a 50-minute show. But it's over it's over so quickly. So what I started watching, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to watch more. So I watched the entire first and second season up until the point of the same episode I watched. But I was like, man, I wanted to play Avowed. And then I was like, why? I was like, why didn't I get the Portal and play Metaphor that entire time as well? But I was so locked into the show. Yeah, that show, man, it is. It's we need its own game. We need like an actual game for it because
I'm sure they're
it's that
working on it.
cool. But it also just kind of reminds me of like Metaphor or Persona because like you have like the instant dungeons and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, isn't it? I mean, how do you make a game for a show that's based off of a game?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, that show it's so good, dude. It is so good, man.
I need to finish the first season.
Yeah. I think you were like on the like the second to last episode or something?
No, I'd only watched a few episodes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were pretty far into it.
No. Man. I need to though.
You got to, dude. You have to.
I know.
I mean, you can use my Crunchyroll login. I've got.
I think I'm still logged in.
Oh, are you? Okay. Well,
yours, unless
I canceled it for a while.
Oh, maybe not then.
But it should. I mean, it should. I re-upped it a month ago, so it should still be the same. I didn't change the password or anything. So you need to watch it. It's good. Yeah. Any last thought? I mean, again, we've talked to the Switch to death at this point over the last 8 years. So I mean, there's not really much else we can say. I mean, incredible games.
I think it saved a lot of franchises. Like I think it saved Metroid to an extent. Yeah, Xenoblade. Sure. I mean, not Fire Emblem because that one was saved by the 3DS. But
that franchise has always done relatively okay. Because I know they didn't cost. Yeah, I know that it didn't cost that much to make those games.
Yeah. And then, I mean, we haven't gotten a ton of new franchises on the Switch aside from. Actually, we really haven't gotten any new franchise. We got ARMS, which never got a sequel. We got Splatoon 2, which was started on the Wii U.
Yeah.
But I mean that's really the only negative to the Switch era is that there wasn't a new a new franchise.
That is true. It was I haven't thought about that before, but yeah, we really haven't gotten other than ARMS. I can't think of anything like a new franchise. Like it definitely reinvigorated a lot of old franchises, like you mentioned with Metroid. I mean, I think getting Prime was on there was huge. Dread, best-selling Metroid game.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the running joke for a while. Is like games just sell like an automatic million if it comes to the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, whatever games comes to the Switch is going to be the best-selling game in that game's franchise.
I mean, we got like Princess Peach Showtime, but that's not really a new franchise. I mean, it's just a Peach game.
I think in the Switch 2 era, I would love to see a new mascot character.
I would like for Nintendo to take a little bit of a risk with introducing some new IPs.
Yeah.
Regardless of what they are. And I don't want like a spinoff thing of Mario or whatever. I want like something new.
Yeah. I would like them to do some sort of RPG. Like some sort of like not necessarily a turn-based RPG, but some sort of RPG with a completely new cast of characters.
Well, is that maybe what Monolith Soft is working on?
Yeah, maybe. That'd be great. Have them just like step away from Xenoblade and do a completely new franchise, maybe a different battle system.
Yeah, that could be huge.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about it a ton, but
yeah,
hopefully we're not talking about the Switch 1 on its 9th anniversary. Hopefully we're talking about the Switch 2.
Well, we'll definitely be talking. We'll be talking about this. We'll have a Switch 2 in our hands by like June. I'm convinced.
Okay,
that it's not going to be
whatever you say.
Yeah, I'm convinced. Like as soon as April 2nd, like that direct happens, It's
Just in a month.
just, yeah, it's crazy. Less than a month away.
I know. And just think, back in January, we were like,
30
oh my God,
days.
April's so far away. Now we're almost here.
We're almost there. Patience is definitely a virtue. But I think, I mean, between like all the Nintendo YouTubers and just constantly just, ugh, it's annoying. It
Yeah.
really is. Like I was getting genuinely like I'm just gonna block everybody on Twitter because I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously we play other stuff, so like we're gonna make time. We're gonna make the time go by quick with other great games that are coming out.
Mhm.
But yeah, it did feel like an eternity for a second. I was like, man, I just want to see this thing, and they gave us like 2 minutes of stuff that had already leaked. But
Yeah. So it felt a bit underwhelming.
yeah,
For sure.
for
But
sure, yeah.
we'll get it. We'll get it on April 2nd.
Yeah.
I'm confident. Confident it's gonna be good.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm even excited for like the next Mario Kart. And I'm not a big Mario Kart guy, but I'm just
That one
excited for.
that one I'm still not super excited for.
I just hope they do something like there's like rumors of like a fueling kind of system. You have to like refuel if it's like maybe on like a bigger map. So like if they
Mhm.
do interesting things, I'm more excited. Because I know like Kellen will probably be pretty into Mario Kart. He loved Mario Kart 8 a lot. So I don't know. Hopefully they just do something cool. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of problem with like Splatoon right now. It's like Splatoon
Don't want just
4, like it'd be
4.
cool, but like I really need something new from that franchise.
Yeah. I mean, they've churned out games for Splatoon, so
Yeah.
I think they need to take a break and, you know, do something different. I don't know what that is, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I would like Mario Kart, and it kind of already did with 8, but like I don't know, turn it into maybe like a Smash Bros kind of scenario where you bring in all these Nintendo franchises and maybe even other franchises, and
Yeah.
like all the characters have like their own unique ability that they could bring into the game, and like not just the items. That could be kind of interesting.
Yeah, because like
There's a lot of stuff they could do. Just if they will do it or not.
otherwise, new characters in Mario Kart just isn't as exciting as something like Smash.
Yeah, it's just skin. I mean,
They're
it's just
not
skins at
really
the end of the day
unique
for
other than their
this.
weight class.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I mean, even with Link, like having like some sort of like spin move, and you could
Yeah.
like knock people out
Or you
around.
have like Skull Kid or something like I know it's kind of relatively niche in the Zelda community, but like Skull Kid and like his like ultimate or his big move is like he brings the moon down and it crashes down. Like something like that
Yeah.
could be so cool.
Yeah,
Are they gonna do that? Probably
Probably
not, but come on, Nintendo.
I'm sure they have something cool up their sleeves.
Yeah. I'm confident. I think the lineup's gonna be the launch lineup is gonna be killer. I mean, we know Metro Prime 4 is coming this year. That alone is very exciting.
Mhm.
And then whatever else they announce. But all right, enough about the Switch. Let's dive into the news. Nick, you want to start the first one off?
Yeah, so this was, I mean, super sad news from last week, but WB Games studio Monolith, who was working on the Wonder Woman game, not only was Wonder Woman canceled, but the studio was shut down, as well as a couple of other studios at WB Games. I mean, this sucks because like, what the last game they made was Shadow of War.
Shadow of War, yeah, the sequel to
Shadow
Shadow
of
of
War.
Mordor, which that game was incredible. I played a little bit of Shadow of War, but I don't know if it
Didn't like-
overstayed its welcome. It was too similar. I'm not really sure why. I just didn't enjoy it that much, but I don't think it was as well regarded as
Okay.
the original.
So it had been, I mean, it's been like what, 8+ years since
That was
they've had a game
2017,
released.
so it's been 8 years.
Yeah, and then I think they had a game in development that got canceled, and then Wonder Woman started up in 2020 or 2021, and that one, you know, seemingly had a very rocky development. They couldn't figure out what they wanted to do with it. It had the Nemesis system at some point, and then that was reshuffled and taken away. And I know a lot of leadership left as well. So that, I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like that studio has had a lot of issues, but it sucks that like these studios are getting shut down before they can even have a chance to bring another game to market.
Yeah, I think it's just the cost of AAA gaming right now. It's just so incredibly expensive that I mean, right now, like to me, I feel like any studio right now is on the chopping block.
Yeah.
I wish they would have sold off Monolith and gave them a chance to thrive somewhere else. But
Well,
like
they
you said,
tried to
like
sell
they
their
had
game. WB
yeah,
tried to sell their games in like games division,
yeah,
and they couldn't.
yeah. I think that was like a few years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they just wanted to sell the studios and wanted to license out the IP.
And now they're working on. Did you already mention the 4 games they're working on?
No, I didn't.
So they're working like on like Harry Potter going forward, Mortal Kombat, um, DC, which is probably the
Batman.
Batman games, or like oh gosh, what's the DC fighting game? They had 2 of them.
Injustice?
Injustice, yeah, Injustice 1 and 2. Maybe they'll do Injustice 3 or just like a reboot. And then it's something else.
Oh, the Lego franchise, right? Because they have TT games.
Do they own them?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Well, because
I thought it was
they have
one
Lego,
I thought it was
Harry
one more
Potter.
franchise that they had. Game of Thrones. They're
Oh,
also working on stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I wish they would, but like, had been able to get sold off like just the studio instead of just shutting it down. But like you said, I mean, they had already a lot of the original talent has left. And it's kind of same scenario with like BioWare. Like that's all the main people with that studio are long gone. So it's like, is it really BioWare anymore, other than just the name? So going back and why I mentioned like kind of anybody's on the chopping block. I'm gonna list some of the games that Monolith made. Starting in 2005, we have the original Fear. Also Condemned: Criminal Origins, one of the greatest horror games, I think, in my opinion.
Wow.
They had Condemned 2 in 2008, also a fantastic game. One of the scariest chase sequences. You go to this cabin and this bear is chasing you through like the whole entire level. It's incredibly scary. They did Fear 2 in 2009. In 2012, they did Guardians of the Middle Earth and Gotham City Imposters. I think the Guardians. I think it was like a MOBA game. They were kind of like trying to piggyback like kind of the big MOBA boom back then.
Gotcha.
And I think Gotham City Imposters. I think I played that demo or beta. It's a first-person shooter. It's like I think it's a 6-on-6 game, but it was okay. It wasn't great or anything, but it was fun. And then they did Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor. That has the Nemesis system that they never used in any other game. And I guess we'll probably just die with, I don't know, with Monolith. I don't know. They did Shadow of War in 2017.
Yep.
And then obviously Wonder Woman got canceled recently, but yeah, they were a great studio, man. Like the Fear franchise. I mean, 1 and 2 were great games. Kind of capitalized on like the early like Grudge and The Ring kind of scary long haired girl interface. But they were good games. They were fun.
Who did Fear 3?
I can't remember who did it. Yeah, I'm not sure who it was.
Another studio. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Warner Brothers and they've just had like such a generational fumble with DC.
It was Day One Studios.
Day One Studios.
Try to see what else they did. Okay, so they worked with Monolith because I think Fear 1 was a PC game. So they worked with Monolith to bring the ports over to PS3 and Xbox 360, and then they took over the full production for Fear 3.
Gotcha.
So they had, I mean, and I think I don't remember. I know I played Fear 3, but I can't quite remember like how it played out. But I know it was a solid game.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, Warner Brothers generational fumble with DC in general. Like, couldn't
horrible.
put out a good DC game to save their life, even though the answer was right there in front of them. Just make a Batman game. Just have Rocksteady make a sequel
A good one.
to the Batman trilogy. I mean, it was so easy.
Yeah, I mean, you had one of the greatest developers in Rocksteady under your belt, and they made 3 absolutely incredible Batman games, and then you just
You put
have them make this one of the worst like live servicey nonsense games.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's bad.
And then they had a Flash game in development at some point, and because the Flash movie sucked, they canceled development on that game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You don't need to tie a game into the success of a movie because, like, something like The Flash, even if the movie sucks, you can still make a great game.
And that's the thing is like the DC movies aren't great either.
No, they're not,
Like,
and I'm tired.
the Zack
They're
Snyder
good.
universe is I don't think any of those movies were really good at all. And I watched all of them, and I thought they were all bad.
So I don't know. I mean, this sucks. I mean, I feel like we're seeing seeing studios get shut down every week. So it's
Yeah.
not a huge shock, but
Yeah, it's just the cost of AAA. It's just too much, and this thing, these studios, and smartly so. I think it sucks that Monolith is getting shut down, but if you're gonna cut down and like just focus on these 4 things that are very popular, do it right and make them good, and don't try to force the live service crap into it. And you can make some really cool stuff, but yeah, it's a shame that we had another closure, but I don't know.
Yep.
It's the cost of it.
It just costs too much. I mean, people expect a certain level of quality now, and they expect every game to be 30 hours long. A game like Fear back then would not cut it today. Just being a 10-hour, singular experience that can't exist anymore. You have to have either a larger experience or some sort of microtransactions built into it. I don't know. Sucks.
It sucks. Next story, Fable is pushed officially to 2026.
I predicted it.
My fantasy critic is an absolute shambles right now. I'm just not having a good time.
I forgot you had Fable. Oh,
I did, and I tried to drop it the day it happened, but they wouldn't let me do it.
Would they not let you do it because it wasn't the weekend yet? Because I thought you could only do stuff after
I tried.
Thursday.
Oh wait, no, it did let me drop it. It did. Okay, never mind. I haven't looked because I had dropped it, and then like later on that afternoon, it said like 0 points, and I couldn't. So maybe let me do it. Okay, so I got a free spot. Let's go. All right, we're not doing so bad. You've got 39 points. I've got 9 points. So
what can I say?
We'll see.
I'm just
and you got Split Fiction this week. You've got
probably gonna do well.
Assassin's Creed Shadows, and then I kind of have like 4.
And then from Xenoblade on, you have.
I got Xenoblade, South of Midnight, Clair Obscur. And
you have Clair Obscur.
Then you've got Lost Soul Aside, and then I've got Elden Ring, Night Rain, and then you've got Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, and you've got Hell Is Us. Is that all we have for the year? Oh, then I've got Mafia. Oh, there's a whole bunch of other games that haven't had a release dates yet, but maybe I'm not doing so bad then. I have a chance to come back.
It's just a very small chance.
Yeah, very small chance.
I mean, on this delay, I think I think it'll end up being a good thing. I mean, the gameplay that they did show looked really good. I mean, graphically it looked great. I think the combat looked a little bit clunky, so I'm glad that it got pushed out. I think, could give them time to polish the game, add in more content as they see fit. It'll just end up as a better experience overall. And I think Xbox has a lot of good things coming this year. I don't think.
They had a lot of games. So what do you think So obviously we know what the games are coming out within the next 4 months. Ninja Gaiden's coming out probably sometime in the fall. Other than that, do we know anything after that?
Outer
during that time?
Worlds.
Outer
Yeah,
Worlds?
that's
Okay,
this
that's
year.
just okay. Yep.
Uh,
Do you think they're gonna sneak in like a something Halo or Gears maybe?
oh, well, I think we'll get Gears. I think we'll get the new Gears game this year.
You think we'll get
I think we'll get-
Gears
I think we'll
the
get E-Day.
prequel this year?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it'll be the big holiday release.
When is what day did Emergence Day happen? Let's see. Gears of War timeline. Oh god. Okay. Pendulum Wars. Locust War. So 6 weeks after the Pendulum War. Okay, it's not giving me a specific date. Anyways, yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
It's one of the most hyped Xbox games right now is E-Day, so would love to see it. So do you think it's a possibility, Nick, that Master Chief Collection launches on Switch 2, like day one?
Yeah.
Like it'll show up at the Direct. Like that would be
it's a
crazy.
possibility. I think out of all the Xbox games that they could show, I mean, yeah, Master Chief Collection, maybe show
like Forza, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Forza. Maybe Avowed. I don't know. Maybe that comes over as well.
Yeah, they could show like in Age of Mythology, Microsoft.
Yeah,
like maybe that one could come because they have like the mouse support. That could be cool. I think it's a possibility. I think it could be at that Direct. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it before. Like delays are never a bad thing, and right now, I mean, Xbox is kind of cooking. I mean, obviously the games that are coming, we don't know about yet review wise, but you know, they all review well. I mean, they're finally starting to hit a good
after
stride.
You account for the Xbox tax and all the reviews.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we've already have so many RPGs right now to play. Like I could maybe push one out until next year. I think that's okay, and I think it's going to come out like probably within the first fiscal year as well. I don't think it's going to be
within like the first quarter,
a holiday game.
And like honestly, with Switch 2, all those games that are going to be coming, with GTA 6 potentially coming, maybe they just looked at their slate and said, hey, you know, this is a big game as well. We can just push this one out and not have much of an impact on, you know, our current slate for 2025. Maybe that's the logic behind it. And you know, who knows? It could be launching simultaneously with PS5. Maybe that's just an additional reason to delay it. Who knows?
Yeah. We'll see. PSVR 2 receives a $150 price cut. The new MSRP pricing is $399, which you stated that should have been the price in the first place.
It's so crazy having a peripheral.
$650.
$550. Yeah,
$550. Okay,
it's crazy having a peripheral that's more expensive than the thing it needs to run it. That means that the buy-in for a PSVR 2 was $1,000. Yeah,
$1,000.
$1,050.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have a feeling this is the beginning of the end for PlayStation's VR endeavor. they just haven't really supported it that well.
They don't have the ability to
And they
support
didn't do they
more
did the
than
first one.
one system. They couldn't do it with the PSP. They couldn't do it with the Vita.
They could barely do it with the
They could
PS5. They have very
yeah, I
little
mean,
games.
they could barely support the PS5. You're right. Yeah, they just
Yeah.
I don't know what their issue is. I don't know if they just don't have enough studios or like their studios are too in sync where they're like releasing games at the same time or like their development cycles are too
It's a
long.
lot. I think it's a lot. I really do think it's the live service stuff.
Jim
I
Ryan.
mean, yeah, the Jim Ryan. I mean, Naughty Dog. I'm sure they had a pretty significant portion of their team working on factions that could have been working on, Intergalactic or whatever. They're probably again with Spider-Man and Insomniac's a little bit different. They're kind of like Obsidian. They kind of just crank
Mhm.
stuff out, not too much, not to a degree like Obsidian does, but they've had what Miles, Ratchet and Clank, and
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 this generation. So I mean that's a good amount of games. Yeah, I just think I really do think this live service initiative really just kind of
It wasted the
wasted
gen. Yeah.
this generation. Yeah, and granted, well, I mean this it's probably going to be another few years before the next the PS6. So we're going to get a lot of stuff in the latter half of the generation like we usually do with PlayStation. But they just haven't had anything or that much between when it launched and the end. So it's definitely a shame. But Nick, you want to read the last one?
Yeah, so we had the Pokemon Presents last week. I mean, it was business
Yep.
as usual until the last two games. We got what was it Pokemon? It's not Coliseum. Pokemon.
Oh yeah, it's like the new Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon. Jeez.
What is that called? It's kind of a generic name. And I'm sure people listening are just like it's this.
It's Pokemon. It's
Champions.
Pokemon.
Champions.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Pokemon
Champions.
Champions.
That was revealed. It's coming to Switch and iOS. It's kind of like a Pokemon Coliseum or Pokemon. Oh my god, what is the Nintendo 64 game called? Stadium. Yes, sorry, God, I can't get all these names straight.
It looks more like it. Did you ever play Coliseum?
I think I played on the. No, I didn't. I played like Battle Revolution on the Wii.
Okay, yeah, because they're both on GameCube. Those were incredible games. I mean, they were kind of like the first like 3D Pokemon games that actually I think were better, but maybe that's just nostalgia kind of hitting me right now. But they had like a really great story, and then they had like the traditional battle system like Stadium had before Pokemon kind of jumped into 3D. But those games were excellent. This seems more like more like Stadium than it does Coliseum. But hopefully it's the other way around and it's more like Coliseum where you actually are running around and there's like a proper story and stuff like that in battles. But I don't know. It looks like Pokemon.
This is like their esports game that they're gonna utilize, I think, because you can transfer Pokemon.
And it does seem like the mechanics are a little bit different, like with the fighting, right? Like they're gonna do more interesting things with the actual.
I don't know. I saw terraforming and what I thought was like mega evolutions. So or not terraforming, but the Terra evolution, crystallization, whatever it's called, and then the mega evolutions in this. So I don't know. I thought it was going to be turn based, but maybe I'm wrong.
It says get ready to experience everything you love about Pokemon battles all in one place in Pokemon Champion. So it sounds like there's probably not going to be a story.
Nothing new.
This new battle-focused game will feature familiar mechanics such as Pokemon types, abilities, moves, creating an environment conducive to rich and varied strategies for new and experienced trainers alike. It's not just familiar mechanics. You'll be able to bring in classic Pokemon from Pokemon Home to look forward to cross-platform battles alongside your favorite Pokemon on Switch and mobile. So yeah, it just sounds like it's
It's
just battle focused. Kind of a shame.
I mean,
but
could
whatever.
end up being cool. I mean,
It could be cool.
like having like these quick battles with other people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably what it'll be. Like, can you? I assume you can level up.
Probably not. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm sure
Maybe
there's like
not.
a rank that you progress.
Yeah, there's probably a rank, and then I don't know. Maybe you bring in your own Pokemon that you
Yeah,
already have, and I don't. Yeah,
you can
I'm
bring
sure we'll
those
learn
in from
more.
home and
I
from
think it comes
Scarlet
out
and
this
Violet.
year.
That's what they said.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
sure there's going to be like an unranked mode, a ranked mode, and then
yeah.
some sort of like tournament mode or something. It's probably not going to be up my alley. I don't love Pokemon as much as I used to.
It definitely. I mean, I've talked about it to death at this point. Once it kind of jumped off the DS, 3DS, I just really have lost interest. And I do want to go back and play some Scarlet just to see maybe if I can get, because I did enjoy it, but like Legends Arceus was very good. It was just ugly, right? That's like the only that's the really only gripe I have about that game. But speaking of which, we finally got to look at ZA. What are your thoughts
It's still
on
ugly.
it? Yeah,
It's ugly in a disappointing way where, as usual with Game Freak, I expected a lot more graphically and from a frame rate perspective, and they just, I hate to say it, but they need help. They need help from another team.
I agree.
That starts with Monolith and ends with Soft. I mean, they really do.
I would love if they would just give maybe not even Monolith Soft, but like maybe just another studio an opportunity to make a full Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Like not a mobile game, like a full on something, and just see how they do. Because you're right. I mean, like it's and I don't know if the word embarrassing is like the term I would use but like it's like concerning how bad it actually looks. Like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey looks better than this game. That's 8 years old at this point. Like, how is that
like,
possible?
You can't justify it at this point. You can't say, oh well, oh well, this and that. Oh, they're doing all this stuff. Oh, it's a new active time battle system. Oh, it's
And
right, like, and
again, we talked about it like at the beginning of the show, but like Xenoblade, like that game is old. It's
10
what,
years
10 years
old.
old. And granted, it's on the same hardware as ZA is, and it still looks like leagues better.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just
And like that they're not going to take advantage of the Switch 2 hardware. There's not going to be a significantly upgraded Switch 2 version. Like this is what we're going to get. Maybe it'll run a little bit better on the Switch 2, but like goddamn, like it looked like ass. I'm sorry. Like visually, it doesn't look great. I'm excited about the battle system because that looks cool. It looks like that's.
I'm not typically the one like we're not typically the ones to give a shit about like graphics. Like gameplay is king, right? But like at some point, like get it together, man. Like I genuinely I don't get it. I don't get how bad these games look and run. The whole thing of like, oh, we have so many Pokemon and there's so many animations, we just can't do it. And that was the excuse with Sword and Shield, and that's why people were pissed back in the day. And now here we are, what, 3 games later, 3 games later, and the games still look like ass. It's just
I'm just tired. I'm tired of this.
And I'm tired of the narrative that it's Pokemon. It's just never gonna look like. I don't need it to be The Last of Us style fidelity or God of War or whatever. I just need like something. It to look like a Switch game.
Yeah,
it looks like shit.
And what really pissed me off was when you see the character running on the rooftop and they jump and, like, latch onto, like, something in the air, but, like, before they jump,
Yeah.
they, like, fall, like, 5 feet before they actually do the jump animation.
Yeah.
You guys couldn't have, like, spruced cleaned that up
Clean
for
that
the
up.
freaking trailer for the game that you're showing off for the first time? Like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
and, like, yeah, and I like, YouTube compression isn't
I mean, it's
you
not
can't
compression.
necessarily gauge that, but it still looks like ass, like
And honestly,
man.
like, you can't justify it. You there's no way to justify it. I
No. I'm done with the Pokemon
yeah.
excuse. Like, this is a billion-dollar company on top of a billion-dollar company between Nintendo and Pokemon. Like, they've I don't know. I think Pokemon gets away with too much. They need to be humbled a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, and I know this game is gonna sell like crazy, and but like, damn, like the fact that they promised a patch for Scarlet and
Well,
Violet
they
and they
didn't
never
promise
did
a patch, they
is
just
is,
said,
is
We hear you. We hear your feedback, and we're gonna do better." They never promised a patch.
I thought they promised a
They didn't
patch.
promise a patch.
You know what? Fuck Pokemon.
I I don't think this game is gonna do above 10,000,000.
No, I mean if it, I really hope. What did
Arceus did about 15.
well, what did it get? What did it review?
He's, like, in the 80s.
Pokemon Arceus.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay. What did IGN give it? I mean, they gave it a 7. Okay. If this game is poorly run, it has a horrible frame rate, and it looks bad, I hope it gets like 4s and 5s. I
Yeah.
really do.
I really do. I really think
Even if the sales are outstanding, like, I at least hope the reviews are just horrible. Because they need something against them at this point. And I don't want a team to fail. I never want that, but, like,
well, a failure for them is, like, 5 to 10,000,000.
yeah, but it's like, come on, like, get it
And I
together.
know it sounds like we're being harsh, and we are, but for good reason. It's because they need to be humbled a little bit. Because they put out Scarlet and Violet, and that one looked terrible,
Looked terrible, ran
and
terrible.
they didn't do anything to it. They
had, like, it had horrible issues, like falling through the world, like, just again, something from a billion-dollar company you don't expect to happen.
Yeah.
And it's pretty consistent with their games.
right, and outside of Pokemon, like, they have never had another hit. Like, they had, like, Little Town Hero, which reviewed so poorly. I had a couple of
Yeah.
other smaller games, but, I do think this is also a Nintendo problem from the performance. Okay, let me rephrase a little bit. So they put out Scarlet and Violet and proceeded to not do anything to it, not patch it, anything like that. Nintendo has the tendency to not touch their games after they release them. Like, not do any performance patches, all they do is, like, patch game-breaking bugs if there are any, and there normally isn't.
Yeah.
But, when you look at something like Echoes of Wisdom, and more so Link's Awakening, which had a lot of frame rate issues.
Yeah.
They just didn't do anything to it.
I didn't think about that.
They didn't fix it at all, and I don't know what their philosophy is there, whether it's just not worth it from their perspective, whether it's not, it's not effective.
It's probably not worth it because they sell so well that they're just
Yeah.
like, whatever. That old, like, old school, like, Nintendo seal of quality, that's not a thing anymore. Like, it's and again, like, most of their games are great. Xenoblade, but again, there's just certain,
Studios.
I don't know. I just expect more out of, like, Monolith Soft than I do their other stuff. And, like, Luigi Mansion 3 ran incredibly well. I mean, just some games just didn't. And granted, it's not like a mainline Zelda game, but it's like, this is like one of your biggest franchises. Like, why wouldn't you at least take the time to go back and fix some issues? Like, how was that a big
Like, maybe
deal?
instead of sitting on your game for a year, maybe use some of that year to, fix up the performance a little bit, polish it up.
Yeah, Nintendo's very frustrating with that stuff, but yeah, I'm very critical in Pokemon, and I've been for a very long time. And I truly loved Arceus. I thought that was one of the best Pokemon games in a very long time, and I still have my problems with it. Yeah, I would agree. It's probably like a 7, maybe close to an 8, just because it was very refreshing. And I think that's with how kind of poorly that game ran and how like just muddy and ugly it was. I think kind of gave it a little bit more of a leniency than maybe other Pokemon games even get, because I know a lot of people didn't enjoy Diamond and Pearl, those remakes. So we'll see. We'll see what the kind of, what people think going into this next one. Now that they've had this is the sequel to the first one. Obviously, they've had seemingly more time to work on this than they have before. So, but still just kind of an ass game. Like, all right, well, just stop.
I mean, I'll say the gameplay looks great though. The gameplay looks very fun.
It looks cool.
That's the only reason that I'm somewhat excited for it. But visually, you got to do better.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's like Arceus was fun to play. It's just it just wasn't great looking. And I'm not saying it has to be like, ray tracing and high fidelity graphics and all that stuff. I don't know, make it look like Wind Waker, make it cell shaded,
stylize it at least some degree.
Stylize it. Like Nintendo is so good at stylizing their games to where they're not the most graphically looking great games, but they just look so good in other ways. And I don't know why they don't push that same mentality they have for their own games to Pokemon. I know Pokemon runs their own thing. They're kind of a separate entity, but I don't know. You think you would want to take a little bit more pride in your product, but
they know it'll sell.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the problem. They'll know it'll sell. Oh, man, Pokemon.
Anything else on Pokemon?
No, I think I'm good. I think I've dogged it enough for one day. Interested in it, but
just those graphics.
We'll see. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that is going to wrap up episode 254 of Gaming with the Bros Cast. We appreciate everyone listening and watching. If you can review us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, that would be awesome and greatly appreciated. We'll be back next Monday. Split Fiction this week, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited
for that one. Very excited for that. Yeah. Are you gonna play that with Alicia?
Yeah, we're going to New York this weekend, but we might play some Sunday when we get back. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I already told Brittany, I was like, it comes out this week.
Get ready to lock in.
Yeah, get ready to lock in because it's gonna be a good time. So very, very excited for that. But yeah, we'll be back with. I'll probably talk more about and whatever else we decide to play. Are you still holding off on Monster Hunter?
I think so. Yeah. I got through the, like the
initial guys. Had 1 million concurrents on Steam. Is 1.3 insane.
That's wild.
That's
excited to see how that game does sales wise.
I'm sure it'll probably 5 or 6 million.
I think
by the end of the year, which is it's crazy, man. Capcom is just.
I mean, they're killing it always.
One of the best developers right now. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.